No one has more state pride than New Mexicans. The vibrant culture, bold flavors, unique history, and dramatic landscapes under our Zia sun are like no other. And the people of New Mexico are a rare breed. As diverse as we are, together we breathe life and soul into this high desert land. A land that promises adventure. I'm Michael Newman, and as your host, I'll be taking you with me as I seek out the best the land of enchantment has to offer.
New Mexico, it feels like home to me. It feels so true. It's time well spent when I spend it.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of New Mexico True Television. I'm your host, Michael Newman. I hope you're hungry because we're going to get to taste a few of the many flavors of Albuquerque. There's more to flavor than taste, and in Albuquerque, it's a blend of history, culture, and being rooted in, quite literally, the Rio Grande Valley. Not to mention the independent spirit of our chefs, and it's anything but predictable. In the heart of the Sawmill District bordering Old Town Albuquerque is the Golden Crown Panaderia. Panaderia is Spanish for bakery, and with its golden-crusted empanadas, bolillos, bizcochitos, flautas, and other breads, it's no wonder this father-son operation has put the Sawmill neighborhood on the map. Beyond bringing the community together, though, this panaderia attracts travelers from all over the globe and has garnered the attention of the Food Network as well as countless gourmands and food bloggers. So what's their secret? The fact is, you just don't come across old-fashioned neighborhood bakeries anymore. The Morales men have held true to the timeless recipes of New Mexican pastries and breads, every morning cranking out doughy, flaky goodness with their tried-and-true equipment. And together, Pratt and his son Chris work like a well-oiled machine themselves, sharing a rhythm that only comes with time. They have kept the artisanal spirit alive here on Mountain Road, and their love for their craft comes through in the food. I had a chance to sneak in back and witness it all firsthand, and grabbed a few words while they prepped that day's creations.
Well, my father started the business in 1972, and then we moved in this location in '84.
And what was it like for you? I mean, imagine the place being open that long, like growing up in the bakery and, you know, working with your dad and everything.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
You know, now that I'm older, I get to look back at what I've been able to have as a youngster. And this has been quite a journey with it. Never have we ever thought that we would be on national television, like on the Food Network.
Yeah.
I never thought I would work with Robert Irvine or Guy Fieri, or having Guy Fieri down here, or with you coming down over here. So it's fun. I mean, the stuff that we do here is incredible. We get to work with incredible people. Our staff's amazing here.
I mean, it's great to see the fruits of your labor kind of coming to fruition, and you're becoming successful, and people are noticing you and seeking you out.
That's the greatest compliment ever.
Right. And so what are people's usual favorites? I mean, like locals, but also the people that come in from out of town. What do they look for when they come here?
Well, they want to find local, and that's what we sell here is local. Like, for an example, our New Mexico green chili bread here. This has green chili, cilantro, onions, tomatoes, and Parmesan cheese. So this is what people come to look for. They come to find the bizcochito, they come for our empanadas, and then we have all the other pastries that go along with being a panaderia.
Right.
But that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the local stuff. We get a lot of people who come through here to celebrate special events in their life. For example, I had a lady come in here. She was very quiet when she walked in, and I asked her, like, how was your day? And she said, my day is absolutely amazing. I was like, why is that? And she goes, today I was diagnosed cancer-free, and I had a brain tumor. She came here. Yeah, and she came here to have our pizzas and have a cup of coffee and a pastry.
Simple.
Simple. And she just came and she wanted to hang out with good people, and she was by herself, and so she celebrated with us. And you know, those are the moments that stick out the most in your mind. Is breaking bread.
Breaking bread, literally, figuratively, everything, all about that. Yeah. You know.
And that's what we're providing here is more of than okay, we do have good food, right? But we're providing the atmosphere for people to come down and enjoy themselves and enjoy life.
Right.
And this is what it's about. It's the journey. It's not the goal. This is the journey.
Right.
Right?
I say that all the time. That's awesome. And that is the quality, the indescribable allure at the heart of a neighborhood establishment, what keeps people coming back. And after more than 40 years in the business, Pratt knows this better than anyone.
When I started 40 years ago, there were a lot of bakeries, especially in the South Valley,
right.
Neighborhood bakeries. Now we are the oldest neighborhood bakery in the city of Albuquerque.
All right.
There are things in shopping centers and malls and strip malls, but not in the neighborhood. So we're the oldest. And by the way, we're also the only new Mexican bakery in the whole state.
Wow.
What that means that 90% of all our stuff we make are local recipes. You know, I have made bread for a couple get married. I have made bread for their kids getting married. Now I'm making bread for the grandkids being married.
Whoa.
After all these 40 years of being here, you know, we have hit all the generations. So the people that come here, not only the world travelers who like to see local stuff, but also the seniors that remember the good old days. This is the good old days.
Wow. You're setting a standard, man.
Well,
I'm
that's the
telling
whole
you.
idea.
Yeah.
You keep it up there.
The crown. That's the crown. You keep in the crown.
There you go. There you go. So they can see how I'm so motivated, and
Yeah.
after 40 years, I'm ready for another 40 years because that's the way I feel.
That's good. When you're motivated by the intrinsic value of what you're doing, that's beautiful. That's what people will strive for, you know.
This I'm retired. This is it. This is retirement. What do you want to do? Retirement. Do what you want to do, right?
Exactly.
I want to do this.
Oh man. Pride gives a whole new meaning to the word retirement. And thank goodness he does, because we all get to reap the rewards. This is probably the only panaderia featuring local beer and wine, blue corn crust pizza, and some great sandwiches. Meaning you don't have to be an early riser to enjoy their offerings. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they've got you covered. Any day is a good day to get some of their green chili bread, but keep them in mind for Thanksgiving when they make their famous turkey bread sculptures. With its proximity to the historic neighborhoods of Albuquerque and an address on Mountain Road Spike Boulevard, Golden Crown is the perfect spot to refuel when touring around the city by bicycle. Up next, we go from farm to table at a historic Albuquerque estate. Do you need a reason to hit the road? Find out about upcoming events around the state at newmexico.org. Just north of I-40 off Rio Grande Boulevard in Los Ranchos de Albuquerque is one of our state's most exquisite agricultural locales. Nestled under the cottonwoods of Albuquerque along the Rio Grande, in the heart of the city's North Valley neighborhood is the historic Los Poblanos Ranch. While the property has changed hands over the years, its history as an experimental and progressive farm dates back to the 1930s. Many native New Mexicans have been raised on the milk supplied by Creamland Dairies, whose original home was here at Los Poblanos, and whose exemplary purebred herds of Guernsey and Holstein cows helped develop the dairy industry in New Mexico. Beyond dairy farming, alfalfa, oats, corn, and barley were also grown on the property, not to mention the farm's experiments in cultivation and countless other areas of agriculture, whose influence is immeasurable. Today, Los Poblanos honors its agricultural heritage and its mission to be a sustainable and innovative operation. And it is an operation. First off, it is in fact a working farm. Harvests from the farm, among them greens, herbs, chilies, and pork, are featured on the rotational seasonal menu at the La Merienda restaurant. You will also find byproducts of the farm's lavender and honey on the shelves of the farm shop, along with an array of other enticing items made by local artisans and craftspeople from around the state. Finally, there is the historic inn and La Quinta Cultural Center, whose architecture alone is reason enough to visit. And today, I have the chance to meet the man behind it all, Matt Remby. So can you tell me a little bit about what you guys have going on throughout the farm and the shop? Give me a little synopsis.
Well, it's the original ranch of what used to be a 80,000 acre ranch that extended all the way to the base of the mountains. But it's the old historic Los Poblanos Ranch. And guests get to this kind of visceral experience of seeing the farmers bring something in hours before it's served to them, as well as they see, lavender being harvested, and then they go back to their rooms and they shower, and they're using all, yeah. So it is kind of a crazy experience, but it's a real one. Even though it is a beautiful place, there is real farming going on, and tractors and trucks and animals. That really resonates with people, the sort of authenticity of the whole thing.
And then how does that experience play into maybe some of the history of this land and this property specifically?
One is the architect is kind of New Mexico's most well-known 20th century architect, a guy named John Gamin. And John Gamin, he really is responsible for kind of identifying what makes New Mexican architecture unique. Some of the artists that he contracted in the 30s did farm-themed artwork. So that kind of lays the foundation for us telling all these stories. So that is totally unique to New Mexico. All the art and the craftsmanship and this architecture, and then the setting. And then the other is kind of what makes food unique to this area. And so we've kind of coined a term called Rio Grande Valley cuisine. And it's really about what grows well in New Mexico and what grows well in the central Rio Grande Valley. It's not just what we grow, but we leverage and use all the food in our entire food shed,
Okay.
which most of it kind of stems from that Rio Grande River, which is kind of the heart of New Mexico.
Along with a rich food shed, we also have a growing community of farmers in New Mexico. And today, I, along with some other folks, am meeting Farmer Fergus to learn about the salad greens being grown on the property, and even take a whack, quite literally, at harvesting the greens ourselves. But I must say, while harvesting has its own rewards, the feasting is where guests can truly reap the benefits of this farm's bounty.
You know, we're all about field to fork. There's all these things from, you know, nose to tail and farm to face, but you know, those just help people kind of distill and understand what we're trying to do. We don't have typical New Mexican food or Spanish food or even typical farm food. It's actually very much a metaphor what New Mexico is all about.
Yeah. The many layers and flavors of New Mexico are not only represented in the restaurant's menu, but in the wide variety of items in the farm shop. But the selection is not limited to culinary delights. In fact, much of what you will find on these shelves will aid your indulgence of another variety, i.e. the home spa experience. What is abundantly clear when perusing through the farm shop is how these items are a testament to the skills and talent of our local artisans, and how much they offer us in terms of craftsmanship. Any shop in the country would envy the selection of high-end products found on these shelves, and the aesthetic and attention to detail in the shop and every other part of this property is bar none. As you roam the property, you know, you get the elegance and the class, but you also get this groundedness of this history that's been in this property for so long.
And there is this spectrum here that's really great. And it's kind of this, it is a classic New Mexican elegance. At the same time, we're farming on this site. And there's some crusty old barns and animals, and you know, the general soul of this place is kind of right in between. There are some things that just happen naturally here in New Mexico, and it's the sky, and it's the climate, and it's the terroir, all the ingredients coming out of this, you know, unique landscape. So we just want to step back and let New Mexico do its thing.
Totally. As a peacock walks by us during the interview.
Yeah.
Los Poblanos hosts regular Meet the Farmer classes, as well as their Tasty Tuesdays when you can sample goods in the farm shop. Drop on in. Once you arrive on site, you may not want to leave. Make a weekend of it and stay at the historic inn. Don't miss lavender season at Los Poblanos from mid-June through mid-July. Besides the annual Lavender Festival, they also host weekly Lavender Labs. Coming up, we got flavors from around the world in our own backyard. Follow the Green Chili Cheeseburger Trail and the Breakfast Burrito Byway at newmexico.org. And now from the pages of New Mexico Magazine. Situated in Albuquerque's International District at the intersection of Central and Louisiana is Talon Market. And it is here every Wednesday where you will find an array of the city's food trucks serving up lunch to the masses. The food truck craze has become a legitimate movement across the country, creating an alternative dining experience for people on the go or just looking for more adventure in their cuisine. And while Albuquerque was not the first on the scene, it is safe to say we have arrived. One of the city's most popular trucks, Subak Foods, is here today. And being unfamiliar with Korean soul food, I decide this makes the perfect launch point for today's culinary exploration. All right, John, so tell me, what's the story? Korean soul food.
You know, basically it's my mom's home cooking stuff that we had, so taking those dishes and creating into the New Mexican palate. And, you know, also subak actually means watermelon, so it ties into the sandias as well. To get that overall New Mexican fusion, Korean fusion.
That's cool. So I wouldn't necessarily think to put New Mexican and Korean food together. But, I mean, just from a flavor standpoint, both are very spicy. Like the.
No, totally.
So have you found that it's been harder, or has it been like seamless?
It actually works really well. It just blends really well together. Like you said, the spice really helps it out. But then, you know, lots of vegetables, lots of different flavors, things like that. So they all meld together beautifully.
Green chili kimchi?
We've done like green chili cheese, Korean chili cheese fries.
Okay.
So chili cheese fries with bulgogi beef and some dandelion kimchi on top to cut all the richness.
Yeah.
But we always rotate our special. Today we have the fried rice burrito. You know, this is what I grew up eating, what I loved eating as a kid. And,
You're inviting us into your house.
Exactly.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And I need to get one of those fried rice burritos.
Beef, pork, and mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Korean food is somewhat underrepresented in Albuquerque's thriving Asian food scene, which makes Subak's existence all the more remarkable. And the flavor profiles of Korean fused with New Mexican definitely has my taste buds curious. Not to mention I'm just downright hungry. Good thing food trucks are also fast in their delivery. Appreciate it, man. I need to bite into this like right now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing your vision All right, first up, definitely a success. So where to next? So many options, and what you see here is only the beginning. The food trucks at Tallinn today are part of a cooperative of more than 40 trucks throughout the city, and I had a chance to speak with the co-op's founder, Patrick of Gidunk Food Truck, to learn more. So Patrick, Gidunk.
Gidunk is it's a World War II naval term.
Okay.
It comes from back on naval warships in World War II. If you wanted something to eat after hours, you had to go to this one portion of the ship where they had a bank of vending machines. And the sound the food made when it dropped was Gidunk.
Gidunk. So how does that apply to your food, your style, the cuisine that you're pushing out to people?
Well, ours is very blue collar gourmet.
Okay.
So what it did was it allowed me to not pigeonhole myself into one particular type of cuisine.
Right.
And it's just very unique, and I've always been very independent. Most of the food truck owners are independent, and that's one of the reasons they get into it. But it has been growing over the years. People are more inclined to go to a food truck now.
So it's changing like the whole, preconceived notion of what a food truck is.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, I feel like it's more intimate. You get to know, you're seeing it in real time when it's happening in front of you. It's fast food, but it's like healthy fast food.
Yes, they're not roach coaches anymore. They're gourmet restaurants on wheels.
Gourmet, and in some instances, healthier than what you may even prepare at home. Case in point, Green Growler Smoothies has a stand set up to get your daily dose of fruits and veggies. What you got here?
We have freshly blended organic smoothies.
Since it's Green Growler Smoothies, I gotta try your signature, right?
Okay, this is actually our #1 seller.
After refreshing my palate with a smoothie sample, I head for Kimo's Hawaiian Barbecue. The crowds have been lining up at this truck all day, and it has me wondering what I'm missing. As one who has never been to Hawaii, I'm wondering what makes Hawaiian barbecue what it is.
Well, Hawaiian barbecue is traditional, it's more of a teriyaki base.
What's your personal favorite?
The teriyaki chicken.
The teriyaki chicken. And that's all I needed to know. My decision was made. Teriyaki chicken for one, please. Those aromas coming off the grill have me wondering if getting my food to go was the right choice. I may end up needing to devour it sooner. Ooh, that is beautiful. Yeah, you did it right. I can tell. I haven't tasted it yet, but I already know. So I've managed to check out some of the more exotic offerings here today. But what about the all-American lunchtime staple? Sandwiches. So what's the story? Why a food truck compared to a restaurant? How did you guys think about wanting to do the food truck?
Well, we started out just wanting to see, because it was really becoming something that was so big other places, and it was really starting to take off here in Albuquerque.
Right.
So we just thought we'd give it a shot. We've been cooking for our friends and families for years.
Right.
My business partner cans, pickles, bakes. There's not much we don't do.
Oh,
so
right.
we thought, why not put it on a truck and see if we can't get some business, work our own hours.
Dollar and a dream.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Okay, so next time I see you guys, what do I need to? I'm a little full now, but next time I find you, what do I need to get?
Okay, I would suggest the twice burnt tacos.
Twice burnt tacos.
We also do the Cubano sandwich, the original Cubano. We also have the new grilled mac and cheese we've been doing for a couple of months, and it's really taken off. So
Too much. It's not just sandwiches. You guys, it's comfort. It sounds like real comfort food.
Yeah.
You know?
No, there's nothing normal.
Messy food. Give me some. Give me some. Give me some.
Yeah. There's nothing normal about
You ladies
the truck.
are holding it down over here, hot off the press truck. No matter what you're craving, Wednesday at Tallinn is sure to satisfy. The food trucks at Tallinn Market rotate and may vary week to week, but no worries, there's always something good. Make a point to duck into Tallinn Market to grab some ingredients for cooking up your own culinary sensations. This international grocer has food items from all around the globe. You can also find the trucks at Civic Plaza for Truckin' Tuesdays and parked outside of many of the breweries in town. Get on Facebook and follow your truck. For more great stories like this from New Mexico Magazine, visit newmexico.org. Stay tuned for one of Albuquerque's true treasures. Do you take a lot of pictures on your New Mexico travels? Well, if you do, show us by hashtagging New Mexico True on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And now, here's another New Mexico True treasure.
Hi, I'm Heather, and I want to tell you that Sandia Peak Tramway is a New Mexico True treasure. It's just an incredible way to see New Mexico from a whole different perspective, and it's so close to Albuquerque, yet you feel like you're really far away out in the middle of nowhere. And at the top you can see both sides of the mountain, and I think on a clear day you can see 11,000 square miles. beautiful. And you can see downtown Albuquerque, and you can sometimes see all the way up to Santa Fe and the surrounding mountains and landscape. An insider tip is to try to be either the first or last person in the tram car so that you get a spot by the window. I think you really get a sense of appreciation for the depth of the mountains. When you look at them from the city, they look so big and impressive, but when you take the tram and it takes 15 minutes to get to the top, you can see all of the canyons and the peaks, and you just appreciate it in a different way.
We're so glad you could come along with us to check out some of the incredible dining experiences you can have in Albuquerque. Hopefully this has whet your appetite and left you hungry for more. And with that being said, what are you doing next weekend?